Hello, everybody. My name's Mr. Todd, and I'm a Deputy Director of English at Victory Academy. I'm just here to talk to you about Year 8s and what we'll be doing in Spring 1, but also through the rest of the year. Now, we shared classes, and I'll get to in a minute, for some students. But most classes are now learning about Romeo and Juliet. And you can see on the screen, we've got Miss Edie, Miss Reader, Miss Reed, Mr. Miller, Mr. Suter, and Miss Catchpole will all be studying Romeo and Juliet at the minute. Now, this is in preparation for Year 9. When they get to Year 9, they'll start their GCSE preparation with Macbeth, which is part of the Shakespeare unit. So it's quite important that we cover as much of the complicated stuff with Shakespeare at Year 9. We cover the whole play using key extracts, so the students will know all the developments in the story and the characters from the very start to the end, but we use a particular focus on the most important extracts. Now, it's important also that we understand the language, which, as I said, can be quite dense. Shakespeare for some students, but as well as that, we need to understand the writer's methods and some of the context of the play. So when we talk about the context, we mean what are the things that may have influenced Shakespeare? What are the things that would have made, what would the audience believed at the particular time that the play was written? So for Year 8, Romeo and Juliet, the main focus is on how conflict affects the development of Romeo. So anybody who knows the play would know that there's lots and lots of conflict, lots of arguing, lots of fighting, and lots of gang rivalry. And we're particularly interested in how this affects the character development of Romeo from the lover that we start with to the murderer that he becomes at the end. Now we monitor progress through midterm quizzes where we'll cover keywords, key phrases, and specifics about some of the characters. And we'll end the unit with a full assessment based on the focus of conflict and how it affects Romeo. As I said a minute ago, we share classes. So Miss Maxwell Hunt and Mr. Connell share a class, 8x5. And Miss Maxwell Hunt will be providing live lessons every week too. And Mr. Connell every week will provide a pre-recorded lesson. In Miss Maxwell Hunt's lessons, they study in the environment unit, which I'm going to get to more in a minute. But it's a unit of non-fiction and producing non-fiction texts. Mr. Connell's lessons, students practice reading and writing skills using a range of fiction and non-fiction, developing comprehension, inference, and cohesive writing. I also share with Miss Catchpole, and I teach the environment side of the unit of the year. And again, like everything we do in Year 8 is in preparation for GCSE, specifically for Year 8's, for the non-fiction paper, which is something that they'll do in Year 11. It's an unseen paper, so they'll be expected to be able to read it and understand how to read and write for the non-fiction genre. So this unit with the Year 8s is about the global and the local environment and the idea of climate change, and particularly the responsibility of leaders, the damage and the facts to do with the local, with the global and local environment, but also the impact that individuals make on this issue as well. Now they'll be focusing on two specific forms: how to write a letter and how to construct a leaflet. The reason for this is that in GCSE, in their non-fiction paper 2 exam, these are two of the possible forms that they might have to write for. We don't know until the day, so we make sure that by Year 9, they will have covered all the possible forms, which will get them ready for the non-fiction paper. Like all the things we do, we monitor progress through midterm quizzes. There are lots of practice writing, in particular for this unit, and we have an end of unit assessment. If we move into Spring 2, we move on to the poetry section. Again, this is like everything we do, is preparation for GCSE, where in GCSE year 10 and year 11, and ultimately the exam, they'll be studying a range of 15 poems from a GCSE anthology. For this unit, in year 8, we'll focus on war poems from a range of periods. And through that, we'll be able to access a range of poets and different styles and different forms, gathering an understanding of terminology, language, structure, and context. Again, midterm quizzes with key words, key understanding, based on the knowledge organisers. And at the end of the unit, we'll have a full assessment. Summer 1 and Summer 2, we study a 19th century text, and we're studying Great Expectations with year 8s. Again, preparation for GCSE, where 19th century texts is a large part of the exams, and at the academy we study Jekyll and Hyde. All groups will study Jekyll and Hyde, so it's important that they understand how full novels are put together. It's like the Shakespeare unit using extracts, so we can chart the development of plot and character, the whole narrative throughout the whole of the play or the story, using key extracts. Again, it's important to understand the language, which can be slightly complicated for 19th century. There's another period. And on top of that, we'll study the structure and the context of the story as well. And again, midterm quizzes with all the key knowledge that they'll need for GCSE, and we'll also have an end of unit assessment as well. Well, I hope this has helped you a bit in understanding what we're doing for year 8s. But of course, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact Miss Maxwell Hunt. She's she's the Director of English, or you can contact me through the email system at the Academy, and we'll be pleased to answer any questions. Thank you.